Welcome in 07 Citizens, Black here from Casa Black Gaming, and this is a review for the newly announced straight-to-drivable Greycat STV or Sport Terrain vehicle. Now if you like what I do and feel like I deserve it, then please like, subscribe, and comment to tell me which ship review you would like me to tackle next, or just tell me why you love this vehicle so much, and I'll also be over on the new community hub if CIG gets the login issues worked out, so be on the lookout for my content there as well. And so with that out of the way, let's get to the review. Alright, so first here on the screen are the stats for the STV, which in its name is defined as a sport terrain vehicle. It's just too bad its name is so close to STD, which we saw so many jokes up on the live Twitch chat when the ship was announced during CitizenCon. Now crude jokes aside, this vehicle has no weapon complement to speak of. The vehicle dimensions are 4.2 meters in length, 2.8 meters across its beam and width, and 2 meters in height. It seats 1 to 2 passengers, and the cargo is 0.5 SCU, which is big enough for 2 of the 0.25 SCU smaller boxes like you will use in cargo missions. It does have 125k of vehicle storage for things such as your gear or weapons, armor, ammo, etc. The max ground speed is 40 meters per second. The vehicle claim time from the ASOP terminal is 12 seconds, and you can of course pay credits to get it without a wait at all. Its other ship components is one size 0 power plant and one size 0 cooler. It has one size 1V fuel in tank and one size 1V fuel tank, which for now does not really mean much, but I'll talk about that later in the video. With the Greycat STV, citizens can purchase a 2-pack paint scheme consisting of cobalt gray and electric green, both of which are nice looking and something I picked up when I purchased the ship, which coincidentally I upgraded my recently received Dragonfly referral bonus that I received because some of the great channel supporters who used my referral code during the event to not only get me one, but themselves one as well. Anyway, back to the paint. Both of these paints look great, but they also have a blue paint that is available only for concierge supporters to buy as well, so that is a third option for those patrons. I do sort of wish they had maybe given another blue option for everyone else, seeing as how much people like blue, and to have it stuck behind a large paywall like that is a bit much, but then again, those who have put that much money into the game should also have opportunities to receive things for their deep pockets. Now, personally, I would have allowed anyone to purchase it and then to have given the concierge members it for free, but that's just me. And as a side note, I did recently hit the threshold to join the concierge with the prospector giveaway I had last month, so I did not want it to seem like I was trying to hide that fact. Also of note, I was not able to select my paint after calling forth my STV at an outpost and going into the vehicle loadout screen like I can with other ships, so I'm not sure if it was just a temporary bug I was experiencing or if others have experienced this as well. Just wanted to get that out there as to why you do not see me driving any of those fancy colors. The Greycat STV is meant to be a vehicle for outdoor enthusiasts who want something that can both travel difficult terrain and also be able to race other citizens, whether that be track style races or all-terrain courses. With its trunk space, it is also meant to be able to carry the smaller packages as well, so it has the functionality to perhaps go in and grab cargo boxes to carry off to a ship, or maybe even at some point to do planetary delivery missions where ships won't be able to land. If there were currently more ground-based vehicle drop-offs on New Babbage, you could easily do the package delivery at the Colonial Outpost near New Babbage and then drive all the way back to the city to drop it off. Just an idea there, CIG. Other than racing and grabbing a few packages, it does not offer up much more than that. It will probably come in handy to drive up to bunkers or derelicts if you need to park away from those, and with the 2 side-mounted gun story cubbies next to either seat, which by the way, I could not get to work, it will make bringing along extra guns or taking some with you from bunkers when your back is full easier, and I could see this becoming the go-to vehicle to do those, especially with some of the larger bunkers coming in the future that were shown off at CitizenCon. This vehicle will also make an excellent little ground exploration vehicle for those who want to just go out in the wild and drive. And with this cargo space, which you access at the rear with the top button, the bottom one being used as the cargo space that opens up in a very satisfying way, you might be able to take along some consumables to keep you and a passenger alive and other items, but again, you can also carry things on your person, so this isn't 100% necessary, but having that extra stowaway space could allow you to carry more if you come upon an outpost or cave while exploring. The STV isn't really missing any features, but it does need more fleshed out gameplay loops in the verse to make it even more useful. Besides bunkers and some exploration sandbox play, there isn't a lot of need for it right now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if we had some ground delivery cargo missions where we were tasked with driving to outposts that are drivable to each other in a reasonable amount of time, this might be something cool to do. But right now, the problem is just destinations or the lack thereof. I do take my missing features comment back though. This vehicle, along with all vehicles, is missing something, and that is fuel. Ground vehicles will one day get a fuel update, and at that point it will offer up a whole new gameplay feature for ground vehicles, because as of now we have unlimited fuel to scoot about the moons and planets as we want. But one day they will be changing this to be more realistic, and at that point we will need to be mindful of our fuel and where we can refuel at, or having the ability to call out to refueling vehicles so they can come top us off if we get stranded. Interesting enough in regards to ground vehicle refueling is that there is a little fuel door on the side of the STV which works and will allow a future refueling nozzle to attach, so this is clearly in the future as has been mentioned recently, and it's nice to see this feature already in the planning stages and implemented. When the STV launched, there were people saying they could not put mission boxes in the rear cargo space, but as I was able to put the one I grabbed from the cargo quests I did on Microtech near New Babbage, so maybe perhaps it's hit or miss, or CIG stealth patched this. I had no problem putting the package in, but admittedly I did not try one of the store-bought cargo packages, which would make this little vehicle even more useful if you can add those. I have seen people on Reddit showing that they can put other items into the trunk, which has been pretty funny to see. The STV does currently have a power plant and cooler, which can be swapped for other parts, but nothing that will truly change this vehicle, at least for now. But the system is in place to offer some customizable options in the future, which for a racing vehicle, this could really make races more exciting, as we might one day see racers trying to push their luck by running their capacitors at high, only to blow out early or maybe overheat and lose. Racing is already a great part of Star Citizen, and I look forward to when refueling and vehicle components can become useful, and I can offer up guides on builds, but as far as cost to make this vehicle useful, for now it's great as is. Now, the first part of this video has been mostly facts. Now we come to the part where it's a little bit more subjective, and although I try not to really push my opinion too much on others, I will give my take coming from a reasonable place, trying to avoid hyping things for the sake of hype. So how does the Greycat STV look? Now, I happen to really like this low profile, sporty, rough, and tumble look. I prefer this over the Greycat PTV buggy and even over the Cyclones. I'm not knocking the Cyclones at all, as I thought they were great looking as well. It's just that you can see a different sort of styling with this Greycat vehicle, and even the UTV, which was shown off briefly and not yet released, looks pretty amazing. It's nice to see Greycat styling coming into its own, and I look forward to more from the company. So how does the Greycat STV drive and handle? This is sort of a touchy subject for many right now because of the recent speed changes. For my part, and this is as of right now currently, it drove pretty well. Now, I have seen takeoff speed comparisons between the STV and the Cyclone RC, and the RC just blows this thing out of the water off the line. I found it to get up pretty fast after it gets going, and it held up pretty well when colliding with things, as all of the land vehicles seem to do now, so there were not a great many changes here in this respect. I would say that if you have driven the Drake Mule, that you will see a similar kind of handling and feel with this vehicle versus, say, one of the Cyclones. It is a sturdy little vehicle, and I look forward to using it more and even racing in it. If you've driven ground vehicles before, nothing new is really going to jump out at you here, but the future might hold some interesting changes, and having a sporty terrain vehicle class now might make this one of the best for most surfaces to drive on with the best experience. This is the category that means different things to different people, and the best I can do is offer up my own opinion on why I think it either is or is not worth the real money price or grind in game, and I normally try to be considerate of my own budgetary sensibilities, which are admittedly different than most, but I do also try to keep in mind that a great many people truly watch what they spend, and so I like to find reasons to justify something's worth, especially in comparison to similarly priced ships that might be close to the same category. Now, I also offer up tips on buying ships and how you can incrementally move up to larger or more ships, and good times to do this throughout the year. So with the Greycat STV, as with most ground vehicles, it's not badly priced, and it's in-game price, which will come in an update or two later, probably 3 to 6 months down the road, should be easily affordable and worth owning. Ground vehicles are pretty cheap for the most part, and so owning one outright or waiting to buy it in-game is definitely worth it. I only own the Mule ground vehicle right now, but other than this that I just upgraded to from my Dragonfly as I mentioned earlier, so I paid $17 for the difference in cost with the paint pack. The ship will be one of those that will be very useful for my type of gameplay, and one I will probably upgrade to something else later once it's available in game, but for now I'm happy to own it and think it's worth the cost, even if it needs more gameplay loops to make it something I will drive daily and more often. Now for this, I would love to see this vehicle offered up in a small medevac ground vehicle with a truck bed where you could place someone on the back in a stretcher to get them to a med ship. I'd like to see this thing have a connectable towing cargo hauler to store up to 4 of the larger storage boxes, or to carry a few friends along, or to have the option to add more storage, or maybe even scanners, or a nice anti-air smaller station to have some on-the-go utility. I would like to see a version with a single mountable gun on the back as well. There are quite a few options I think this chassis could support, so I look forward to fleshing out this brand to see more vehicles options come our way. Alright, so that's going to do it for this vehicle review of the Greycat STV. Now, I'm a fan of ground vehicles, but would love more to do with them in terms of gameplay, but of course, not at the expense of putting other features off. After seeing some of the new footage of the planets and moons of Pyro, I'm really looking forward to driving vehicles like this on those new terrains. We also have more rivers coming up soon, and let's hope we get some new outposts, possibly along those rivers, and I have a feeling we might see the first roads popping up within the next year or so, which if so will hopefully lead to some cool transit opportunities for those of us who want to possibly do some cargo or other type of ground vehicle missions. Now I hope you all enjoyed CitizenCon, and I would like to get a video of my top 10 moments that I enjoyed out there. Nothing too long, because you know how I roll, but just something so I can go on record as to the things I thought were good and then maybe not so good. Anyway, remember to be kind to your fellow gamer, obey all local traffic laws because the man has enough money from our taxes, and stay positive, citizens.